NBA Finals just ended 5 days ago, and what were the NBA Finals, guys? Uh, I'll break down. So the NBA Finals went to 5 games, so I'll break it down game by game. So game one, the Knicks win by 10 points, 105 to 95. Wembanyama plays decently well, 26 points, 2 for 9 for three-pointers, 12 for 13 for free throws, so he had a decent game. And then Jalen Brunson, he outscored Wemby with 30 points. I would say they played pretty similarly, just the Knicks had a better supporting cast around their all-star than the Spurs did this game, or the supporting cast played better. So then the Knicks take a 1-0 lead, and then looking at game two, the Knicks win this one by 1 point. This game was crazy. The Knicks are down like 14. Not the Knicks, the Spurs are down like 14 in the fourth quarter, or something like in the double digits, and they come back. Looks like the Spurs are going to win this, tie up the series 1-1, but they end up losing by 1 point. I think this is the only game in the entire series where the Spurs outscored the Knicks in the fourth quarter, so which is really sad. It just like highlights the problems that the Spurs had this entire series. So off of a Spurs failed comeback, the Knicks take a 2-0 lead, and both of those games were in San Antonio, mind you, so they just lost 2 home games back to back. And Wemby, again, he played decent, 29 points, 2 for 6 for three-pointers, 5 for 8 for free throws. Jalen Brunson, he didn't have a great game this game. Only 20 points, which like would be good for some other players, but was even the highest scorer on his entire team, which, I mean, it happens, but the Knicks pull off an ugly win, and they take a 2-0 lead. And then game 3 comes around. The Spurs win this game. This one was played in Madison Square Garden. And at this point, the series was looking really wonky because the road team won every game so far, because the Knicks won the 2 games in San Antonio, then the Spurs won this 1 game in Madison Square Garden. Looks like the Spurs also outscored the Knicks in the fourth quarter in this one, but only by 3 points. So this would be the only other time that it happens. This was the game where Wemby really popped off, 32 points here. Brunson had exactly 32 points as well, which is kind of funny. So that means that the supporting cast around them, around Wembanyama for the Spurs, really popped off this game. Castle had 23, Harper 13, De'Aaron Fox had 12, Devin Vassell had 11, so yeah, it was really, Wemby had a good game. Everyone around Wemby on the Spurs had a good game. They pull off the 4-point victory, holding off the Knicks, and at this point it looked like the Spurs might be able to come back. It didn't seem likely, but the Spurs still had like a chance. They still had a pulse, and it certainly looked much better than when they were down 2-0. So, and then we go fast forward to game 4, and then this is another game decided by 1 point, 106 to 107. So of the 5 games played in the NBA Finals, 2 of them were decided by 1 point. This isn't like soccer or something, this is basketball, so that's actually really rare. Just see that happen twice in the NBA Finals. So, yeah, this was the game that if you knew nothing else about the NBA Finals, you probably heard about this game, because the Spurs were up 29 points in this game at 1 point, and they ended up losing it. So I remember, uh, so the Spurs were down 1-2. They were up 29 points in this game, so they were down 1-2 in the series, but up 29 points in this game. And I thought that the Spurs might be able to do it. I was like, well, now they're going to win this game. They're up by 29 points. They're going to tie the series 2-2. And then it's going to be all tied up. And then it's really anyone's series. It's back to 0-0 at that point. The Spurs might actually be able to win the finals after going down 2-0 with 2 road victories in Madison Square Garden. But then somehow, some way, they choke away a 29-point lead. That was disgusting. Victor Wembanyama, 24 points, 2 for 8 on 3-pointers, and 4 for 7 free throws. I remember it was towards the end of this game, I think. Wemby was at the free throw line, and he had 2 free throws, and he missed both of them. And if he had made one of those, the game would have tied, and if he had made both, the Spurs would have won. And this was also where De'Aaron Fox had that really bad miss to lose lose the Spurs the game. Yeah, Jalen Brunson really popped off, especially compared to Wembanyama. 36 points, only 3 for 7 3-pointers though, 9 for 11 free throws. So this was really embarrassing for the Spurs. And now they have their backs against the wall down. The Knicks only need one more game to win the finals. So this was where it really collapsed for the Spurs. And then if the Spurs would have held on to that 29-point lead, we might have been talking about a San Antonio Spurs NBA Finals champions right now, but they couldn't, and they choked away practically every game this series. So it's really on the Spurs that they lost this, in my opinion, of course. And then Game 5 came around. This one was in San Antonio, and I expected the Spurs to win this one because I didn't think that the Knicks would be played at their highest level up 2 games, and they weren't, but seems like but it seems like in a game to save their season, the Spurs weren't exactly locked in either. Both of these teams didn't score a lot of points, only 90 from the Spurs and 94 from the Knicks. So both of the teams have really bad games overall. So, let's see. Yeah, this was where Jalen Brunson had 45 points, and the Knicks only scored 94, so Jalen Brunson single-handedly had about half the Knicks' entire points. And then Wembanyama comes out here. Picture this, you're Victor Wembanyama, you're the star player on the Spurs. This is a game to save your season, to maybe, if you win this game, maybe you can, claw your way back and win the NBA Finals. And you put up 19 points. You weren't even the highest scorer on your team. The rookie Dylan Harper had 25 points. You only had 19. That was really embarrassing for Wembanyama. I think that highlights the real problem he had. I think, I'm not going to say the lights were too bright for Wembanyama, but the lights were too bright. He choked really hard. He was playing... This is just me, or I think Wemby was playing so much better in the Oklahoma City series, but that might just be my perception of it. So yeah, so basically Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs choked almost every single game of that entire series except for game 2. Obviously, they didn't choke away the game that they won, but the only game that they lost that they did choke away was 2, where you could even argue game 2 that they did choke that away because they were leading 34-25 in the first quarter, and then they choked in the second half, letting the Knicks score 31 to only 18. So they somewhat choked that one too. So, yeah, the lights were definitely too bright for Wembanyama and the Spurs. They were constantly choking. I don't know if it was just the real inexperience of the team. Like, these are a lot of young players. Maybe they didn't like have enough experience to like know how to play, how to like stay locked in like the Knicks did. But yeah, yeah, like I was talking about before, 2 of these games were decided by 1 point. So don't let it the 4-1 series record make you say, oh, the Knicks really, they were the complete better team in every way. They only let the Spurs win 1 game of this series. Well, the Spurs were 4 points away from winning 2 of the games that the Knicks won. So not 4 points in each game, but a combined 4 points between those 2 games from winning those and leading 3-2. So, yeah, like I was saying, Wemby is still really young. He's only 22. I think definitely can come back to these finals. Maybe this loss will even give him some fuel to inspire to give him a reason to win next time he comes back here. But I think Wemby's career, despite this, this was an ugly loss, and it is really in part his fault, especially with Game 5, but his future is still looking really bright. Obviously, he would have wanted to win the finals if he could have, but it didn't look like that was really in the cards for him. This year, he was way too inexperienced. Well, the Knicks finally won. I was talking to my friend who hasn't watched the NBA in like a few years, and I was like, did you see the finals? And said, no, who won? And I was like, the Knicks, and he was like, the Knicks, they're good now. So the Knicks have really turned it around. They've gone from bad to NBA champions. So good on them. I wish San Antonio would have won, or at least made it more competitive, because looking at some of those games, they obviously had the potential to like force the series to go to 7, but they just kept on choking, man. And I don't think like some of those games, like, it wasn't just the like Knicks being the better team, it was players who usually make plays not making plays, like the De'Aaron Fox missed dunk and the 2 missed free throws in a row by Wemby to win the game. So yeah, that's what I thought about the NBA Finals. If you live in San Antonio or are a diehard Spurs fan, you're really disappointed about this, but good for the Knicks. I'm glad they finally won it.